Voters in Illinois could be asked in November to amend the state constitution and change the rules to redraw political boundaries, known as redistricting. Good Wednesday evening. I'm Tyler Lopez.
And I'm Janice Reppold. Thanks for joining us at 6. But some Republicans are voicing concerns. Angeles Pampa tells us more.
Republicans in Illinois are pushing back after the Democratic Speaker of the House filed a last-minute resolution Monday to redistrict Illinois.
Indicate your opposition to Illinois Democrats continuing to cheat you out of fair elections. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, we deserve opportunities to enhance cooperation, collaboration, and good government in this state.
The House Joint Resolution Committee amendment, presented by Speaker Emanuel Chris Welch, would amend the Illinois Constitution rules on redistricting. In order of priorities, it would ensure that districts should be drawn to include equal population sizes, provide an equal opportunity to elect candidates based on race, create a racial coalition, and districts be contiguous and compact.
I do believe that this is an important step for Illinois to take to protect ourselves and continue to strengthen our voting protections if this partisan United States Supreme Court guts the Voting Rights Act.
Speaker Welch during committee said his purpose for introducing the measure is because the Voting Rights Act is under attack, citing sections that have been struck down by the Supreme Court or considered to be removed. Welch says this is a preemptive measure to ensure representation for minority voters.
Some states will quickly undertake new gerrymandering schemes aimed at stripping away Black and Latino and other minority representation. Here in Illinois, we refuse to go back.
Local Republican State Representative Ryan Spain voiced his concern on the amendment after it was voted out of the executive committee, calling it cheating and emphasized that Republicans have presented alternative ideas for a new map for the state.
You changed the rules to say it's allowable for our team to cheat and use the cork bat, but the other team cannot. This is the essence of what Democrats are attempting to do with rewriting our Constitution at the 11th hour.
If passed, the amendment would be on the November 3rd midterm election, but it still needs the required votes in both chambers.